Hello, boys and girls. I hope you're ready for day 4 of our Read Aloud. Beatrice Zinker, the Upside Down Thinker, and I hope you are all doing well. I talked to a lot of you today on the phone or left a message, and it was so good to hear your voices. So, we left off where Beatrice Zinker is kind of sad because her friend Lenny has changed a little and doesn't want to do the spy mission that she had and has a new friend. So you can imagine that Beatrice is feeling a little bit down, and it seems like her new teacher isn't a real big fan of her. So let's find out what happens in this chapter, chapter 8, which is 87 minutes. Mrs. Tamarack watched her like a hawk. With the threat of losing recess looming over her, and Operation Upside Down in jeopardy, Beatrice was on her best behavior. Nevertheless, the morning was filled with one misunderstanding after another. I dropped my cap. That's one. I'm just tying my shoe. That's two. Beatrice knew better than to argue. Instead, she kept her chin up and waited for a moment to catch Lenny alone. At mid-morning, Mrs. Tamarack made an announcement. Once you're finished with your All About Me project, turn it in to me, and then you may visit the activity center at the back of the room. Beatrice seized the opportunity. She scribbled her name on the back of her poster, then wandered toward the opposite end of the classroom. She paused at Lenny's desk on the way. Want to do a puzzle? Sure, said Lenny, grabbing another marker. I'm almost done. While Lenny added finishing touches to her poster, Beatrice dumped a big bag of puzzle pieces on the rug at the back of the room. Her fingers quickly went to work flipping the cardboard right side up. Beatrice picked up her favorite piece, cleared a space in the center of the carpet, and dropped it right in the middle. She smiled at the solitary shape, mostly green, surrounded by a sea of possibility. Earth to Beatrice, said Lenny, waving a hand in front of her face. She and Chloe plopped down next to her on the floor. Which puzzle are you doing? Asked Chloe. I'm not sure what it is yet, Beatrice admitted. Chloe looked around. Well, where's the box? I left it over there, said Beatrice, pointing at the shelves. Chloe walked over to the puzzles. We can just look at the picture on the front. I never look at the picture, said Beatrice. You don't? She doesn't, said Lenny. It ruins the surprise, said Beatrice. I just start with a piece I like and see where it goes. But you didn't like even to do the edges first, said Chloe. That's like Puzzles 101. Beatrice shrugged. If I had to start with the edges, I don't think I'd ever do a puzzle. While Chloe flipped through puzzle boxes on the rack, Beatrice leaned toward Lenny and whispered, We don't have a lot of time. We need to make a plan for recess. Oh, said Lenny. Chloe invited me to play veterinarian with her. She twirled a piece of puzzle in her fingers. I sort of said yes. You said yes? Being new isn't easy, Lenny told her. She lifted a shoulder, and I like her. But this is important. We have spying to discuss. Beatrice scooted closer and muffled her voice. I have a list of possible candidates. Lenny raised an eyebrow. Hey, Lenny, look at this one. Chloe held up a box with a unicorn on the front. Isn't it cute? Chloe tucked the box under her arm. Let's do it at her desk. There's more room to spread out pieces. She walked to her desk without waiting for Lenny to reply. Lenny mouthed sorry to Beatrice, then hopped up and followed Chloe to their seats. Beatrice blinked at Lenny's back and watched her friend fly away on the wings of the new girl and her sparkly purple unicorn. I don't think Beatrice is feeling too good about this, but let's see what happens in chapter 9. Something unexpected. Beatrice went back to her seat and tore a sheet of paper from one of her brand new notebooks. In Reading, she wrote Lenny a message. It said, Meet me at the wooden playground, 11 o'clock. Come alone. But it didn't look like that. It looked like this. If you look close, you can see a bunch of jumbled letters. Nothing beat Pig Latin, but occasionally reverse alphabetic code saved the day. She folded the paper into a square and drew an L on the front. She tried to catch Lenny's eye, but the co-founder of Operation Upside was too busy piecing together the edges of the unicorn puzzle and laughing with Chloe. Beatrice ran through her other options. She could toss the note ninja jar style in Lenny's direction, but that didn't seem like a good idea. Her aim wasn't great, and it probably wouldn't end well. With Mrs. Tamarack on high alert, a direct delivery seemed like the safest solution. She just needed an excuse to pass Lenny's desk without drawing attention. Beatrice opened her pencil box. She grabbed a handful of new pencils and a sharpener. She twisted and turned until the case bulged with shavings. Her hand shot up in the air, the sharpener still in her grasp. Mrs. Tamarack sighed. "Yes, Beatrice? May I please empty my pencil sharpener?" Shavings fluttered down on her desk like volcano ash. "Yes, Beatrice," said Mrs. Tamarack, "please do." With the note cupped in one palm and her sharpener in the other, Beatrice headed toward the trash. Her route put Lenny within range. Beatrice counted the steps. She would be at Lenny's desk in 5, 4, 3. On 2, Beatrice tripped over a shiny purple backpack. The sharpener flew right out of her right hand and opened in midair. The note flew from her left hand and landed in the middle of the floor directly between Lenny and Chloe. In desperation, Beatrice dove for the note. Her whole body strained toward her target. Her arms lengthened and her fingers grew, but it wasn't enough. The top secret correspondence rested inches out of reach, just beyond her fingertips. Mrs. Tamarack jumped up just as the pencil shavings rained down. She was not amused. "Beatrice, that's it. That's 3. "I tripped." Beatrice planned for a recess, scattered like graphite dust all over the carpet. But then Lenny did something unexpected. She did exactly what the old Lenny would have done. Sliding her leg into the aisle, she covered the exposed note with her shoe and dragged it under her desk out of view. The expression on her face gave nothing away. Here's a picture of Beatrice tripping and Lenny helping to get the note back. This is a good sign. Maybe Lenny's going to come back. Beatrice held her breath. Lenny wasn't done yet. Smiling at Mrs. Tamarack, she raised her hand. Mrs. Tamarack sighed again. "Yes, Lenny?" "I just wanted to say that it looked like an accident to me," she said. "And to be honest, Beatrice has always been kind of klutzy." The whole class laughed in agreement. The whole class was glad Lenny said that. Mrs. Tamarack narrowed her eyes. She looked between Beatrice and Lenny and the purple backpack on the floor. A tiny bubble of hope floated up in Beatrice's chest. "Okay," said Mrs. Tamarack, drawing out the word. "But Beatrice, be more careful in the future. Go grab the vacuum and clean up this mess before it ruins the carpet." "I'm still on 2 then?" said Beatrice. "You are still on 2. Staring straight ahead, Lenny deposited the note into the pocket of her shirt. The tiny bubble of hope in Beatrice grew so big it almost hurt. "So recess is still a go?" Mrs. Tamarack rubbed her temples like this. "If you can stay upright for the next 5 minutes, yes." Thank you," said Beatrice. "You won't be sorry." So, we will go into recess tomorrow, but it looks like things are improving for Lenny, and maybe she'll go back to the old ways. You guys have a super day. Know that I love you and I miss you, and I look forward to seeing or talking to you soon.